So we have a very interesting race. We've had some amazing days. I love the debate. I love the process. Something very beautiful about this process. The American way, but it's a lot of different ways. But there's nothing like what we're going through. It's very exciting. And to have so many Polish Americans on my side, been friends of mine for many years. I've had so many friends. They've been so loyal to me from Poland, some living in Poland now, but mostly from Poland. And the Polish people are great people. These are great people. And if I get elected, believe me, we take care of all of our people, all of our people. But we do have a very, very special place because Polish Americans, what you've done for this country is really incredible. And I don't think, frankly, that people know the great sacrifices that you've gone through. And Frank and the whole group have done an incredible job. Even just coming to this building and seeing how well organized everything is, how beautiful it is, how clean, how you open it up to the community, Frank, it's amazing. So I just want to congratulate you and I want to thank you. Thank you. I just met many of your leaders and representatives and your press. And I thought I'd say a few words. I wrote down a few words about Poland and my thoughts on Poland and also on what's happening with respect to the Polish Americans. And I think it'll take a second and I'll read it off a little bit to you because it's very important. To me, it's very important. It's an unbelievably important community. So I'm honored to be here with the Polish American Congress, and I pledge to you, a Trump administration will be a true friend to Poland and to all Polish Americans. And I have to tell you, and I don't think you people will be insulted to say, and if I say, we're going to be a friend to everybody, we're going to be friendly to everybody. You know, you heard about the deplorables, right? This is going to be one of those deplorables. We're going to be a friend to everybody. And if they don't like me, they will end up liking me, all right? I'll be a friend even when they don't like me, but they will end up liking me when we produce, because we have politicians that don't produce. It's very simple. And Poland has been such an incredible friend to America. And since our founding, if you look, it's been one of our great, great relationships and so important, strong ally for freedom. During the Cold War, Poland kept the flame of freedom under communist oppression, and it was a beacon. And Poland provided 28,000 troops in total over the years to assist the United States in Afghanistan. That's a lot of troops, 28,000 troops for Afghanistan and Iraq in the hardest fought regions. And plenty of suffering, plenty of suffering. One of the things I wanted to do is mention your very brilliant head of the Chamber of Commerce, Anna, who's just stand up, Anna. It was very important. Who's going to Poland tomorrow, but she said, Mr. Trump, would it be possible for you to say something about small business? And in particular, because people want to come in, they want to open small business. And I said, well, the most important thing we can do is taxes, but really maybe even more important than taxes are regulations. Because the regulations in our country have become so horrible, so cumbersome, so bureaucratic that it's really becoming almost impossible to open a small business. Whether we're dealing with Polish Americans or whether we're dealing with any Americans, it's a horror show. And also whether we're dealing with small business or big business, even to expand business is it's very hard. It's almost impossible in many cases. So we're going to make sure that when people come into the country or when people are already in the country, they're going to be able to open their business. And also we're cutting taxes massively. The thing that amazes me is that if you would have told me this, I wouldn't have thought, you know, we're cutting business tax tremendously for small business and for all business because we want jobs. We're going to have a job growth like we've never seen. I'm very good for jobs. In fact, I will be the greatest president for jobs that God ever created, that I can tell you. I'm very strong on jobs and the economy. I built a great I built a great, great company, and some of the most incredible assets, real estate assets anywhere in the world, and some other assets. But and I understand putting people to work. And if you would have told me this would have happened, I think the mayor of New York, Rudy, who has been so incredible as a supporter. We've had such great support, but Rudy's been really out there. He was a great mayor. I think Rudy would understand this very well. Some of the people in the audience would. So we're doing this massive tax cut, and yet, in my opinion, almost 100% of the time, people that want businesses and want to expand businesses or start new businesses are much more excited about the regulations being cut, because the regulations are making it absolutely impossible. The taxes are terrible because they're so high, they're so onerous, that they really make it very difficult. But I think that people are more excited about the massive cutting of regulations that we're going to do. And you need some regulation. For safety, for environment, you need some regulation. But we're going to be cutting tremendous amounts of red tape and regulation. And I would never have thought that they're more impressed with that they consider that to be more important than the cutting of taxes. Because in one case, you know the kind of money we're talking about. In the other case, you know, it's a little amorphous. You don't know. But they're very excited. So, Anna, we will take care of that situation. And I think you and all of the people that you're representing will be very happy. Okay? Now, as president, I will honor Poland's sacrifices for freedom. We're committed to a strong Poland, very committed, totally committed, and a strong Eastern Europe as a bulwark for security and liberty. Campaigning for his wife, Bill Clinton attacked Poland, saying democracy is too much trouble, which was an interesting statement, wasn't it? Democracy is too much trouble. And for Poland, apparently, because he disagreed with Poland's opposition to bringing in refugees, and yet his wife wants to bring in refugees from Syria at a rate of 550% more than Obama, who's bringing them in by the thousands and thousands and thousands. So Bill Clinton made that statement, and he talked about for Poland. And all of the time I'm talking about we can't allow people to come into this country from other parts of the world that we don't know who they are, where they come from, what their intentions are. And all you have to do is take a look at what happened, whether it's in New York or whether it's in San Bernardino or whether it's in Orlando, or frankly, you can go outside of the country very nicely also, Paris and Nice and all of the different places. Germany, look what's happening in Germany. It's a disaster. And yet Bill Clinton will make a horrible statement like that concerning Poland. So Poland is one of the only 5 NATO countries that's actually paying 2% of GDP to provide for their defense, which is very interesting because I've been talking about it. You know, so many of them are delinquent. They're in default, essentially, but they're delinquent. Poland is up to date. And what happened, as soon as I walked in, the whole group said, "We're up to date, we're up to date." They were very proud of it. That's the Polish people. That's it. They want to be proud. So we want NATO to be strong, which means we want more countries to follow the example of Poland. If every country in NATO made the same contributions as Poland, all of our allies would be more secure, and people would feel better, even better, about NATO. NATO is very important, but they'd feel better about it. We'll work with Poland on strengthening NATO when I am president. We will strengthen NATO. And we're going to bring NATO and get NATO involved with terrorism. As you remember, 6 or 7 months ago when I was asked by a reporter about what do I think about NATO, I said it's obsolete because it doesn't cover terror. And it was a big scream, oh, Trump is saying it's obsolete. Then about 3 days later, they said, you know, he's right. It's obsolete, doesn't cover terror. This is a new threat. And then a few months after that, on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, and this was probably 4 or 5 months ago, they announced they're starting a new terrorism division, which will be run by a very good person, actually. And They didn't give me a lot of credit for that, but they did put my name in the article, and they did say that, you know, I brought it up. But I do believe if I didn't bring it up and bring it up very strongly and loudly, they would not have started it. But I think it's a great thing that they did. The contributions of the Polish people to America have enriched every aspect of our lives and will be honored if I am in the White House. The Polish people will be honored. Remember that. They deserve it. So I'm asking for your vote. I'd never thought I'd be saying that. I've been a businessman. Can you believe? Been watching these guys all their lives. I'm asking for your vote. The difference is then they do nothing for you. They, you know, we're going to make things good. We're going to make America great again. But I'm asking for your vote, and I'm asking for, very importantly, your friendship and your partnership. We're going to work together, and we're going to start now. We're going to have a victory in November. It's going to be a tremendous victory. And we're going to have a Trump administration that's going to get things done, that's going to lower taxes. Hillary Clinton, who I happen to believe is grossly incompetent, by the way. I just feel she's grossly incompetent. But Hillary Clinton is going to increase taxes. And, well, she didn't pass her bar exam in Washington, D.C., and a lot of people don't know that. But I happen to believe that should be very, very bad for our country. I think it would be worse than 4 more years of Obama. I think it would actually be worse. And it won't be great for the people that you're representing, but most importantly, it won't be great for the people of our country, because we have a chance to really make America great again. We have a chance to, I think, make America greater than ever before. And whether it's tax, whether it's trade, whether it's regulation, there's so many different things that we're going to do. But we're going to spur growth, and we're going to spur growth in the right direction, not in the wrong direction. So I just want to thank all of the folks that I met today and all of your leadership. And I will tell you, I will never let you down. It will be an amazing thing that's going to happen on November 8th. You know, when I was right in the middle of Brexit, because I was in Europe, and I have a lot of property in Europe. I own a lot of great property in Europe. And they asked me the question. They said, Mr. Trump, what do you think of Brexit? Will it pass? And everybody virtually was saying it won't. Obama said, no way. In fact, he went over and campaigned against it, as you know. And that's probably the reason it passed, because I actually think, in fact, when I heard that, I told 2 of the newspapers over there, I said, is he really over? He said, no, he's campaigning very much in favor of, you know, keeping it the old way, the way it was, right, which was a disaster. I said, well, if he's campaigning, I'm going the opposite way of him. So I said that Brexit will happen. What happened? Anyway, that was 2 days before, and everybody printed out, Trump is totally saying that, you know, Brexit is not, that it's going to happen. And it was amazing. It was amazing what happened. So when the UK brilliantly decided to get out, they totally forgot what I said. They totally forgot. And as you know, the person most in charge, that really, this was he formulated this whole idea along with some other great people. But he came out and made a speech for me a month ago. It was incredible. And now they're calling me Mr. Brexit. Because in a way, we're very similar to what happened over there. We want our independence back. We want our freedom back. We don't want to take people into our country that we don't want. We don't want to take people into our country that possibly have very bad intentions. We don't want to take I mean, we have so many problems. We owe almost $20 trillion. It's doubled under President Obama's term. $20 trillion. So over 200 years, we developed debt. In 7.5 years, by the time he gets out of office, it will more than have doubled. And what have we gotten for it? Nothing. We have roads that are collapsing. We have highways and bridges and tunnels that are in a horrible state of repair. We have hospitals and schools that are disastrous. I mean, our airports are third world. You go to Dubai and Qatar and, You go to China and different places, you see airports that are the most incredible things that you've ever seen. You come into LaGuardia in New York, you come into Kennedy, you come into LAX, you come into Newark Airport. These are like third world airports with third world equipment. And this is the United States. Well, it's going to end. We spent $6 trillion, $6 trillion through gross incompetence. We spent $6 trillion in the Middle East. And think of it, $6 trillion. We could have rebuilt our country twice. We built things over there that we don't build for our own country, and then it's bombed and destroyed. So we're going to run things differently. We're going to be tough. We have a very depleted military. We have to build up our military again. We'll have to build up our military. But it's going to be something, I think, that's going to be very beautiful and very good, and it's going to be great for all people, including my really great Polish-American friends. So I just want to leave it by saying I'm with you. I agree with you. There was a room full of incredible representatives, and as they were talking, I'm saying, you don't have to sell me. Everything you're talking about, I mean, what's not to agree with? And the great thing about everything that took place in that meeting that we just had is that you love this country. You love our country. You want what's good for our country. And so we're all in the same bag. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank your leadership. I want to thank everybody in this room. I hope that I get every single Polish-American vote in this country. And if anybody's on vacation, come back immediately. One thing about the Polish people, when they go on vacation, they usually go to Poland, right? It's true, I know. They go to Poland. They don't go elsewhere, so get them back. But it's really been a great honor, and thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.